Yesterday, I opened the stock market and I saw this. Nvidia dropping by 17%, losing an estimated 600 billion in market value. This is insane. Now, this is a massive amount of loss, but not everyone lost out. Short sellers, so people who bet against the company doing well, they generated around 6.75 billion USD, according to calculations by S3 Partners, which is a data analytics company. Now, why did Nvidia stock plummet so much? The reason being is an AI company called DeepSeek just came into the picture in the AI race. Now, what are DeepSeek actually doing? Well, they are receiving extremely high traction for their cost-effective chips because they managed to create R1, which is an AI assistant for a fraction of the cost of the competition, such as Google, OpenAI, Meta, all these other companies. They built the AI assistant for 6 million USD. Now, to give you a little bit of context, Nvidia in 2024, they investigated approximately 1 billion USD in artificial companies, so AI companies. This investment encompassed about 50 startups, funding rounds, and corporate deals. So, how does DeepSeek actually do it? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, they use much older chips. The newly highly expensive chips are not the ones that DeepSeek uses. And this means that they can be a lot more cost effective. But the reason they use the old chips and the reason this is taking the AI market by storm is because previously the old chips were perceived to be not as powerful, not be able to hand as much complex data. And yet, using older chips and combining this with efficient systems, so GPUs, that are able to process data, but smaller data sets, they found that the actual performance is almost comparable. Another reason, that it is open source. This means that everyday coders and software engineers in the future will be able to look at the algorithms, look at the code that DeepSeek uses, and this means they'll be able to refine it and create better ideas, improve hardware, improve the efficiency, overall make it much cheaper and better for everyone. Now, right now, AI is not at that stage yet, and DeepSeek wants to reach this. Right now, it is not allowing all their algorithms and code to the public, but this is something they want to reach. Why is this so different? Well, other software companies like OpenAI is not actually open. They don't show their code to the public and they don't allow manipulation of the code directly. Now, the reaction of the market was clearly very substantial. 17% is huge. This is going to have massive consequences. However, is this an overreaction? Well, let's read. Pat Gelsinger, the former CEO and chief executive at Intel, was in the population of investors buying up Nvidia during this time. So this huge market dip, he said, no, I'm going to buy. Why? This is what he says. The market reaction is very wrong. Lowering the costs of AI will expand the market. So that's exactly what DeepSeek have done. They've had a huge innovation of AI. Really, it's just been taking old AI chips and then improving the efficiency of them and then adding some additional features like open source. But at its core, they've dropped costs, and this is what Pat Sinker says. However, the reason the market is very cautious of this is because of the AI. AI has a scaling model, right? So OpenAI and other AI models essentially get smarter the more data they get. However, DeepSeek argue older AI chips, as I've said, use an open software is comparable in terms of performance. So instead of using massive data sets like OpenAI, it aims at a smaller but much more optimized data sets, and this argues it leads to better results. So, in all of this chaos, what does Nvidia itself have to say? They almost lost 600 billion pounds, not pounds, USD, almost lost $600 billion. So, what did they have to say? Well, I quote: DeepSeek is an excellent AI advancement and a perfect example of test time scaling. Now, quickly, this is essentially talking about optimizing and scaling AI systems, so improving its ability to test and handle complex tasks. So, inference, quickly, is a very important part of AI processing, and it's making predictions in new unseen data. So this requires a significant amount of Nvidia GPUs and high performance networking. That is what Nvidia says. Nvidia says inference, which is exactly what I just described, requires significant Nvidia GPUs and high performance networking. This means that Nvidia is claiming, okay, you are overreacting to the market and basically saying, nah, 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 you may scare our investors, but you still need us. Now, whether this is true or not, we'll have to wait and see. But it seems that AI's job is basically just had its job replaced by AI. Now, I wanted to see DeepSeek out for myself. So I went online and I had an attempt at going in. And this is the message I received. Its traction is so huge, they're currently having problems processing the amount of users. Now, there's a lot of fear around the fact that it's Chinese dominated and the potentials of risks of this. I mean, can't blame them with the ban of TikTok and then unban of TikTok a couple weeks ago. This is what Donald Trump had to say, president of the US.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser focused on competing to win.
So, it might be good, it might be bad, but it's as if we're having another race to the moon, except instead of Russia and the US, we have Nvidia and now DeepSeek. The question is who will win.